and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one we have Gragas, because he is one of those champions who has been hidden OP in the past. He has been something that has also been completely and utterly useless ever since he was first made a jungler, and we removed him from the AP one-shot mid lane syndrome, which was pretty bad back in the day. He's had either a supreme presence in pro play and high elo, or just been in complete obscurity, and it feels like for the longest time he's been in obscurity. Now with the Dark Harvest, Night Harvest, the Giga AP rune set and item combination, he's actually been pretty good for a while. The problem is he's still more difficult to use and people don't really maximize his kit. Roll around Season 13, jungle pets, faster clearing speed, and ganking mode, you'd think he'd have more of a presence. He doesn't, but he should, because his win rate is good, his data is good, his pick rate is a lot higher than it used to be, and people are catching on, especially if you go high elo scouting. You look and you're like, hold on, why is Gragas got a 3.1% pick rate? Which is pretty good considering he's usually much lower than that. So, and you will see in the replays as well, in the lists of data, a lot of good KDAs, even Canyon's playing it. Canyon's always played it, but you know, a lot of junglers, high elo junglers are playing it in solo queue because it has so much snowball potential. We've got healing by using our abilities. We've got the knockups, the slows, the damages, the knockbacks, and our W whereby we consume a drink and then do percentage max HP damage. Just because. Also damage reduction on said spell as well. Now our bottom lane does end up winning the coin toss here. Excuse me. Losing the coin toss. I didn't mean winning, I meant losing. And we started the red side quadrant to kind of shadow into a potential at least tower dive on the top side, which of course comes to pass, as we've all expected. But we didn't waste a lot of time, right? We look, we probe, we see, we're like, fine, we leave. We go by mid lane, can we do something? No? Okay, now we go to the blue side. You're not always going to find these opportunities guarantee you kills. The idea is at least you're looking for them. If you're FQ farming and you're not looking for them, then you're not going to be there when it's possible. In this case, we look, nothing, okay. We look, nothing, okay. At least gets kills here. Our bottom lane loses the coin flip. Right? Nothing you can do, but now we just fall back to our camps. We have that fallback situation. It is Lucian versus Yasuo, so Lucian should have prior in theory, which means we do have the ability to shadow for counter ganks. And the Elise decided instead of ganking on the bottom side to go red Raptors Grump gank top lane, dive that, pretty normal as well. And now she shows up here doing the scuttle crab we would see with 16 CS. Now the top laner is most likely, why are you walking to the river? Why are you walking to? I have pain watching this. And Gragas is like, well, yes, I have cams, and he does. So the Elise does a 1, 2, 3, does another one, has her boots of speed, goes here. You know, this is a little bit odd, I will admit to you. I mean, if you're super low and you don't know where Gragas is, it's good just to reset, buy something, come back out. If you know he's not in that location, you win because you can kind of play around that. However, because he went Raptors start, we don't really know where he began, although again, it's so obvious, isn't it? You know, it's unlikely a Gragas or a Kane or things like that are going to solo a big, fat, juicy red or blue. 99% they're going to start the Raptors. So you kind of know where they are, but you don't know, so you kind of play it safe. Risk assessment. Now, obviously, bottom lane are down here. Xayah versus Kai'Sa. We have the Nautilus as well. Aurelia doesn't know when to stop, it seems, so Gragas says, hey, extended sequence. Boom, 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 boom. Nothing. Farm, loop back around, take the scuttle, go back for a second rotation, which is obviously a great way to stay out longer, just to see if there's something we can do once at least eventually goes to the bottom side, which of course we see she does. Now that she's done that, we see the Fiora here detach, ward, and go back to the top lane. So we know that that is warded, which means we can't walk through there because she'll see us. So what we do is we leverage the fact that Aurelia is like, hey, can I just auto push? And we'll try and get an advantage or opportunity from that, which of course we do. The baits work. The flash body slam works. The Q does the damage. And obviously we have our W drink beforehand as well. See, now we drink it again, and we get the empowered auto attack plus the damage reduction. Right here, you see it. Now you can see it, you can read it. I always have to check because I do hide some things just to make it look a bit more flowy, but you can see that that scales with AP, so you're getting damage reduction from having more AP ratios and AP itemization, as it were, and we have so much copious amounts of CC, so much disengage for this champion. In addition to that, it's just so much damage overall. You'll find when you have a lead with Gragas, you can typically one-shot the squishies. You can deal with ADCs, and obviously when you've got Leonas, you got Yasuo's, you got Fioras, you got Elises all wanting to go in, that disengage on your knockback is so crucial. So now we reset, obviously doing the second quadrant on the top side, we come down for the counter gank dive here. Careful not to overcommit. Nautilus shows up, he hits the hook, the heal is burned. Gragas is like, let me empower my auto, guarantee that swish kill. We get the root there onto the Elise. The Kai'Sa is able to get kills, just get the knockback, drink some juice, get another auto attack off. We're getting chunked by the Kai'Sa. Lucian is using his prior to move. Alt, swag. Now, the Elise goes for this dive. And what's interesting about this is we know that Gragas obviously does this, this, and this, right? When he shows up top lane, so that's 28 CS, full clear. Then he shows up top lane here with 36 CS, killing the top laner with no itemization board. So you know he did it one quadrant twice before his base. And because he ended up here, 99% that quadrant will be the blue side that's available. So when you release, you go, oh wait, yeah, the blue side is available, I'm going for this dive, but no, he's going to be here for the counter gank. You have to path and be aware of this. He made the play. Elise made the aggro play, hoping she could get out, and they almost did, but the Gragas made the right rotation. Elise cut that window a little too fine, and now Gragas can use this lead, get level 6, and go straight for this dragon right here. And Fiora is going to just go ahead and giga fight, and Elise is going to shove with some boots, hit a Cocoon of Destiny, and kill the top laner again. Someone should tell her that the kills should be down here, although she does have 3-1 Kai'Sa. However, because she shows up there, we have the global timer on the red. We see this, we say, I take this. Lucian is like, hello, I rotate and swap. Level 5 Elise. 33 CS, 50 CS on the Gragas. I much prefer this. See, Gragas is weird, because you'd think he'd be more low econ, right? You'd think he'd be more like the Elise and just running around 4 CS PM ganking. That's not the case. He actually does such a good job being unsuspectingly fluid. You know, given his shape, you would not expect so, but he, that was so smooth. You see what I mean? Like, because of the fact that the body slam can go through walls, because of the CC, because of the slows, the healing, he basically has everything in his kit to 1v9 games, and he calculates mathematics at an extremely high level. Look at that. Calculated save. Now we go back in the little, it's warded, so never mind. Normally you would not be seen, but it's warded. So excellent stealing here. Excellent just eyes up looking at the bottom lane. I know we don't always click around as much as we would in-game, because we're looking at the champion, but you should keep your eyes up, look for that kind of stuff. And now we already have Night Harvester, plus 8 stacks, plus 22 on a Gus Walker, 25 on the Elise, who's now down 2 levels. That's why I don't like this. Boom, 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 into this is great. But if you're on this side of the map, so you can gank bottom lane. Elise should have gone blue, wolves red to do the same thing here. And then Gragas would finish this, drive by mid lane, and now Elise would have the pressure to maybe shove him out of his blue side, or at the very least control both scuttles and gank all 3 lanes in one go rather. So by doing this clear early, she really compromises the strategic options available to her afterwards and gives Gragas a freebie, which is really good because you, as the Gragas in your elo, will get those freebies. I mean, this is Master Plus, so if the mistakes are here, they're definitely in your elo, and you can definitely find them. Definitely lots to think about. Now, Aurelia and Fiora are still fighting. I mean, she's down 2 levels. I think she has no other choice but to do so. We see here the Elise is ganking the Lucian, usually a free gank. Lucian escapes. She's going to hit the plant to see where he is, and not going to see anything. And then basically Gragas is like, well, I guess I have to give up that Herald and go to the bottom side. But fortunately, we have the Xayah versus the Kai'Sa, and we have the roaming Leona here, Hex Flash by the Nautilus. So we see this, and we'll basically say, right, while you do that, I can do something else. And that's always very important. If the jungler does something, you have to... I love it. I love it. I love it. That's beautiful. I absolutely love this. He hits the cast, he hits the Q. That Q will now zone, right? That Q just straight up zones. Guy says, no way. If she walks over that, he's going to re-detonate it, slow it, and burst her out. I love this. This is something that people don't do enough of. If you can get to somewhere circumventing vision just by flashing, just do it. Now, if you have Hex Flash, then it makes a lot more sense, right? But like a Fiddlesticks, if you take Hex Flash and Fiddle, just flash over the wall and go around the side here. Get your ult off, cool, now I have Hex Flash. You know, and you can do the same thing thereafter. So it's not always, you know, don't miss your spell and go, oh well, and sit there and be upset. Just flash like a beast, kill them anyway, walk through the vision. See how we didn't care if it was warded? Because with the angle of approach, if we flash this, move down, don't care if it's warded. Hits the ultimate perfectly, and because of that, he's able to get free kills on the Kai'Sa. And that Q again, because you can re-detonate it by recasting, it adds an element of uncertainty. It's not something that's necessarily barrel roll. It's not something that's going to be predetermined. Okay, look, this lasts 2 seconds. I can play around that when it's thrown at me. He could detonate it whenever he wants. And that, of course, causes the outplay potential, and he just chucks it there and lets it sit. Lets it sit. I will only press a button when you walk over it. So Kai'Sa's like, well, I'm doomed. And she was doomed. So now basically, again, from these kills, we go back to base, we get itemization, or we don't go back to base here, and we just loop back around, do our quadrant again, and now we can, of course, look for more action. So we're using a lot of quadrant clearing here. Ooh, Leona's out of position. Can we get the slow? Yes, we do. We have the body slamming potential. Yes, we do. We're going to make sure we do that. Zoning. Oh, like she had to flash. I was trying to hold my breath for the engage there, but nothing really materialized. But yeah, you see, The slow basically guarantees a body slam, which basically guarantees subsequent CC, which if you have an ultimate guarantees that. We're just going to knock her against the wall, body slam her, burn the heal, get the auto attack, get another auto attack off. We're chilling. The disrespect. That's how you do it, my friends. That's how you do it. See, such good, smooth Gragas gameplay, just using his position. Elise doesn't matter. Elise is running around. See, Elise is a skill champion, but they're running around with no skill at the moment. The Gragas is playing with skill. Quadrant, gank, yes, no. Quadrant, gank, yes, no. Like, he's always looking to do some camps, then gank, or gank and then do some camps. It's putting him in such a good position to react to the Elise's over-aggression. And, of course, he's now in a position with a huge, huge lead to carry this game. He's up 24 CS, and yet we were down in gold. We were down in gold early. He has to carry the game. My friends, he has the most KP in this game. His team is behind. His bottom lane was losing. His top lane is straight up inting. Bottom lane is now way ahead in gold thanks to his presence. Those shutdowns on the Kaiser really did work. Well then, free dragon. Nautilus' mid lane versus the Yasuo with the Luciano. We get this free dragon here. Kaiser's moving up through this vision we've placed. As a team, of course. Don't forget that the warding totem now has higher uptime early, so make sure you're scanning if you're ganking, or if you're keeping it, good vision on enemy laners and junglers. By putting another ward down, you can maybe in some elos not get a scanner early, like, which is counterintuitive, right? There's more wards, therefore I need a scanner. Pain. Only pain. However, if you're playing in an elo where a jungler's just going to be AFK sequencing, or you're against like a hardcore farmer, right? Then, and the laners are warding, and you can see where they're warding, because often you can see when they move up and down, like the Fiora here, right? Well, here, we see her move down and up. I know she warded it. I don't need my scanner, because even if I show up and scan it, yeah, I kill the ward, but now I'm seen. I don't want to be seen. So I just cut and lane gank. Did I need my scanner there? No. Ward early not only allows you to ward this Gromp, but the second spawn Gromp, or the second spawn Krugs, the second spawn Raptors, but maybe even get on the other side of that as well. So you can really track them heavily early, especially in silver, maybe even some gold games. Just something to think about. Fruitful thought, as it were. Not something I'm telling you categorically to do, just something that could have some positives against farming junglers in certain elos. But obviously higher uptime and wards means in theory you should need the scanner more, but we don't get the scanner more, you just have to use it more intelligently. The slow, the body slam, the auto, the knockback. We chill, we watch, chuck another Q, like that. 4.8 seconds base. 10.4 seconds quite high. 4 seconds in this. 96 seconds in this. I'm choking up on how ridiculous it is that this champion isn't played more. Honestly. It's so strong when played well. 603, so much damage, up 30 CS here. Over the wall, Zenith's Blade, knockbacks, chuck a barrel. I love how you just chuck barrels and walk away. Just chuck a barrel, slow, walk away, and then you go back in with the body slam. Now Elise again is just going to walk around the map randomly. I mean, obviously we have a low Nautilus here that she wants to kind of deal with, but Kaiser's also low. But there's just so much unskilled pathing with the Elises at the moment. Like, they just walk at people. Yep, walk, throw a cocoon. Cool, who's next? Who can I do that to next? And then off you go. You don't think about flow, farming, sequences, experience, maximizing XP, because you know, even if you go down, you're going to get the kill experience, a kill catch-up experience. But the next patch, that's big nerfed. So we're going to see Elises who do this, who play badly with 4 CSPM, have a really rough time. And I just on my coaching channel covered a Rengar vs. Elise Diamond 1, Diamond 2 game. You would not believe what happens in that game. It is honestly depressing that someone can jungle that way and almost win games. Unfortunately, the whole point was, hey, look, this works, but if you counter it, it works better. You know, that's what I was kind of showing, like more fundamental, good jungling practices that get you 6 to 7 CS per minute. You know, like it's a better strategy. But the Elise was just 4.2, 4.5. I'm like, what am I watching with this pathing? It just makes no sense. And you can see here, like the Gragas has been, I was going to say, he's been counter jungled, which does happen. It's quite funny. But no, he's not been counter jungled. You ever have that when you walk to the blue and you know it's spawning because of the timer on the map? You walk there like, where's my blue? Then it spawns up again. Happens to me still. Sometimes. I'm still like, it's just a timer thing, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm just old and an idiot, but it does happen. We're obviously giving up this Herald here. Cash Mania Pocket is 415, but we have Shadow Flame. We didn't go for the Zhonya's early. We didn't need to. We have the Penetration passive. They have a few shields we can kind of abuse a little bit, but obviously the HP is nice as well. And of course the Elise is showing up with the Leona after that secure. Kaiser was being dangerous with that because again, Gragas all-in flash plus the ultimate is giga scary when you're an ADC main. The Fiora is going to be an issue though. Good. I like how Aurelia is 0-7-1 and has more pressure than so many other players in games. He has to flash. 0-8-1. She's really trying, guys. She's really she's definitely engaged in this game. She definitely didn't die to a level 3 at least tower dive and then TP in and die again and then TP in and die again and walk back and die again and just... I mean, if this is happening in your top laner, I do understand your tilt, but then look at the enemy jungler. You see 40 CS leads, 30 CS leads, better KP, 2 dragons, a fed bot lane. I understand you're having a miserable time. I really do. I empathize. I've played top lane. But look at the state of the game and realize that you're winning. And all you have to do is absorb pressure and play accordingly with good macro, and you can free win a game. It's not going to be one you remember, but you're at least going to win and get the plus LPs. And as a jungler, sometimes you're going to have to deal with 0-8-1 top laners throwing tantrums, range splitting. And you know what? The range splitting sometimes does give you a lot of advantages as well. It's really interesting. When you play around it. Like, rage split, for some reason, the enemy team just sees, haha, someone to kill. And they send 2 people to the 0-8 person. And then you're just like, well, free Baron. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. I mean, I'll coach a diamond game, and then I'll coach a silver game, and the same thing will happen. Someone will be inting or like... I just said it. They sent 3 people with a herald. Now, imagine that a Baron was up here, and they were not able to get to the inhib at all. That happens all the time. But we're basically going to collapse onto this just to catch it in time. The Kai'Sa does kill the Gragas, actually, so let's see what happens here, actually. Because we do collapse on it. This is probably not a bad push. I shouldn't have used it as an example for a bad push because we have the Herald and we have the power curve. He walks face check into a cocoon and gets blown up. So he is squishy. That's not obviously what we want in this particular case. That was disrespectful of the Elise from Gragas. If I'm not mistaken, that might be his only death though, but still not so good. Kai'Sa goes in, gets another kill. Fortunately, as I said, we helped the bottom lane a lot and we have a fed Xayah. And a fed Xayah is very, very strong. Oof, the Gale Force kill. That was nicely positioned. Keep chasing, but you do have ultimate. Be very careful here. There we go. Yank it back. Aurelia is like, I'm here to help. She also sounds like Braum, apparently. It's just, if you have to say I'm here to help in League, you have to say it like Braum. I don't make the rules. That's just what it is. Okay? Second assist. See, guys, I'm not inting. I am trying. Although, you know, you could make an argument that she's not totally inting. She is, but she's not like, you know, inting, as it were. The Gragas, though, disrespect to the collapse. We knew they were shoving here. He just walks to the bush. At least it's the cocoon. GG. We know that. But fortunately, we're up in time to go ahead and snag this Infernal Dragon, which, of course, we do. Now, the game's going to slow down a little bit, I think, because we need to make sure that we're not doing that again. Next time we do that, that's a Baron. Next time we do that, that's an inhib. And our Aurelia is still not really a person. So we need to wait for our Xayah to go back to base, get some more itemization. Here we go. Like, we face check again. So maybe it's not his only death. Oh... Or maybe he dies twice. No, he doesn't. Disengage. You see what I mean? Look, they're just chasing him. Who doesn't want to do this in silver? Obviously, Gragas mechanics in silver, you know what I mean? But if you can learn them, look at that. That was really funny. Slows and heals and ult disengages, and then we go back in and get the full-on kill. And we smite that sucker to get the HP threat, HP regen because Lucian was going to take it. Now, of course, let me look at this here. 48 seconds on the ultimate. He's being a bit feisty, isn't he? The Gragas now. He's being a bit feisty, I think. Max Q into the E there, into the body slam, because obviously the cooldown. Watch for the Kai'Sa ultimate. We didn't quite know when it was up or when it is up, so he kind of just respected the fact that it could be up. It was pretty close, actually, so close. Now they're like, hey, they went to the bottom side. Let's go take the Baron. It's a bait, right? It's 99% a bait. It has to be a bait. Yeah, there's no ways that we're ever going to be doing that. You kind of know that, but with a Kai'Sa, with a Fiora, it's like, maybe. But there was no ways they would just run to the Baron there with everyone up. Because it was, what you want to do in that case, if you're the blue team, is bait a fight that you can win, and then you can do it for free. You don't want to bait the coin flip smite, especially when Gragas can do a lot of combo damage with his smite as well. Xayah mid, Fiora mid. She shows this. See, this is a good ward. Yeah. You can see this ward here. You place this. You know that they're going... See, now they're doing it again. But Fiora's mid. Now she's going to cut through this way. Oh, she actually cuts really aggressively onto the Xayah here. And now they're disengaging. See, this is what I'm talking about. The Xayah... Get your bottom lane first, guys. Just... The Elise camps the Fiora. Gragas helps out the bottom lane more and shuts down the Kai'Sa. And look who's going to win. It's not that difficult. At least overcommitted. I did explain why also from a jungle 1v1 perspective. That clear I didn't really like. See, now we turn. Now we do the baits for the turn. There's no real reason here to not fight. We have the numbers advantage. Like, it's just free cleanup. Hey, I really hit a spell. She has 5 assists now. Gragas is like, guys, come on, let's finish. Thank you so much. Beautiful. So this ward is excellent because it lets you see this kind of movement. The Fiora decides to go in on the Xayah. Big mistake instead of helping her team, which means they have 4 and we have 4. Do we win that 4v4 without the Fiora? Yes. Which means the blue team is forced to turn or disengage. Because they were already pre-chunked from doing the Baron for so long, they had to disengage. And then because the Fiora dies to the Xayah, now the Gragas team, they swap positions, and they instead of just giving it up, they try and contest and they all get rinsed. Bear in mind games. Bear in mind games. Always about the numbers. So blue team just wanted to use their advantage from the Fiora and from their numbers, the beta fight, while the gold was kind of equal, to maybe turn and get that win. Because if you win that fight with those picks and that numbers advantage, free Baron, shove up, should be GG. Even with 3 dragons, you get the next one, you get the next one, you probably close before Elder. Or in the red team will never get the soul. But because Fiora egoed, top laners and ADCs egoing it, I don't know, and try to go in on the Xayah, who was pretty strong. Well played by the ADC, I'll give her that. Now Fiora's like, well, now it's my turn to raid split. And then Reddy's like, no, me, I still do this. Dragon will be spawning thusly. Thusly by soon TM, you know, it's not like right now. And good split push there by the Fiora, because Xayah can deal with her, but I don't know if Lucian can actually. I'd like to see that 1v1. He should be okay, but Fiora, you never know with that champion. In the meantime, yeah, we just float, secure some camps. Sounds good to me. Yasuo's moving in here. If we had Krogs, they are no longer available, and he's going back to base, so why would you go back to base there? Like, why would you walk there and go back to base there? Why not go back to base somewhere safe? Either way, Gragas. And of course, the Banshee's Veil is super nice in this particular case, because when you want to go all in and they have a lot of CC to deal with you, then of course the Banshee's Veil shield will absorb, and of course the AP damage from the Elise is, I think, what he's afraid of. So now he can face check, right? Now he can just walk into brushes and not care if the cocoon flies out. Or if the Zenith Blade, the problem is if he walks in without it and the cocoon hits and then the Zenith Blade from the Leona hits, he's probably dead. Now he can eat one of those very, very easily, and he has disengaged enough for the rest, you see? So it's kind of like he's presenting himself as that frontline availability, where his team does have sort of, but you know, I'm not sure if we count the Aurelia as a frontliner. I mean, she technically is. See, now, yeah, I liked finishing this. Your support can handle it. They have no smite in this picture. We can go for this, and we'll just kill the Kai'Sa. There we go. Nice little bonking. Yasuo shows up. Nice little disengage. Just split them up. Chuck a Q. We hit that one as well. And now Aurelia's like, hey, see, well, that was just a flash animation. That was a flash animation before you ask. Now Cocoon hits, but we're tanky, but we have magic resist, but we have HP. We stand there and show you disrespect, little spider. And then, of course, now we are going... I like this guy. He's got personality. He's got spunk. Yes. Spunky Gragas player. I'm just going to stop. I like how he's playing. 12-1-5, nicely done. I like the red quadrant into the gank floats, into the fallback to the blue side, into the crowd control, into staying out for another 2 camps, into ganking the top lane, into making sure he counter ganked that bottom lane dive, which was predictable because at least went bottom side to top side to dive the top lane, died, went back to the top lane, so she has to come to the bottom lane next, and he just did a good job of counter ganking and reading that. Hopefully you can see how he did it and why he did it. And now we are strong. Style points. I like his animation cancels too. Pretty smooth. The guy knows the champion. I mean, the skin is good for animations as well. That's why you see it so much. So, that's why you don't see any of the Lee Sin skins. Because everyone's just like, why would I play this shit when I can just play Muay Thai and have way more fluid animation cancels and ability usage? It's weird how they do that on some champions. It's fine on certain mages and things like that, but like even with Zyra, I love some of the skins, but they just feel clunky in comparison. Right, the cocoon hits onto the Xayah, but it's a Xayah, so she just ults, we chug that ultimate cask. Let me see the damage on this right now. 701 damage. This sucker right here does, now with 641 to 962, what is it? 989 on the base ability. There's more on this than it does in his ultimate. Crazy. Chase him down. Now, Fiora is splitting. If you watch, instead of laughing at his numbers like I am, and you're watching this, she's rate splitting here. But because we have all the numbers, we just killed one at a time. That's what he's a master of. So you want a team fight, and just kill one person at a time? Do we have actually a base race? Nope. Nope. Nope, Aurelia, you useful son of a bitch. 110-7 jungle gap, top lane gap. They definitely said jungle gap, and they definitely said top lane gap. And they meant it in the terms of at least being better, and then Aurelia was better. 100% that's what was said. Anyway, super fun game. I mean, that's 1,036 damage in the end. We're looking at 751, like 600 on the E. The burst combo with Night Harvester proc, absolutely obscene. And the movement speed is nice as well. People always forget that about the Night Harvester, but that movement speed is super, super good for repositioning when you have lowish CDs. So you don't really need the phase rush, right? You can proc it, move a bit, reposition later on, especially if gap closes. So really fun. Gragas strong. Go play Gragas, get some free wins. Nice little answer to the Elise and disengaged comps. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you all on Virkayu.gg and in the next tutorial.